Hello, my name is Hitendra Patel. I'm a Managing Director of IXL Center, a global innovation management consulting firm. Industry 4.0 is not like anything that we've seen before. It is truly the time where humans in factories are about to disappear. What we are going to be able to see in the future is a factory with no lights. There will be no lights in these factories because there will be no humans in the factory. And why is that? Because what we'll do is automate the whole factory and robots will be working. So welcome to Industry 4.0, where there will be sensors, where there will be computation, where there will be robots doing all the work to do what it needs to do. What does that provide for you? It provides an opportunity to basically have higher efficiency, higher productivity, lower cost for all manufacturing out there. And for countries like Colombia and countries in Latin America and other parts of the world, what we have seen is less than 10% of the factories are at the same level of automation as in Germany or the United States. The number of robots that you have in a factory today is less than 10% of that of what you see in the US or in Germany. What that means is there's a huge opportunity for your engineers, your students, to start thinking about how they're going to work with PLCs, controllers, the technology platforms of software, the technology platforms of robotics and robots, and how to be able to assemble and put things together, how to get quality control to the next level, how to track and trace everything, and how to predict what you're making, and if something is made poorly, how to go backwards and unbundle everything to find where the flaw was and which things to recall. We're about to enter an amazing era of manufacturing, Industry 4.0. And this Industry 4.0 is going to create a whole bunch of transformation of every factory here in Colombia and in the world. And the amount of work it's going to create is going to be in the billions and billions of dollars. And we have probably a 10-year horizon to 15-year horizon where the jobs are going to be plentiful and many. And then we'll of course have to rethink what's coming after Industry 4.0. I have a colleague, his name is Rizzo Han. He's the president of the Industry 4.0 Association in Brazil. And what they have done is they've taken companies who are all in manufacturing together, and they're basically creating an ecosystem of suppliers, integrators, universities to somehow coordinate this 4.0 movement that's coming. And I believe it's going to be hard to coordinate it by any one person, and ecosystems are going to be critical, and universities in particular will play a big role in saying the time is now, let's put all the right players together, and now let's all march systematically together. With that, if you're a dean of engineering, if you're a dean in computing and software, if you're in mechatronics and robotics, if you're in industrial engineering, this is going to be a fantastic time, and I hope you guys will be able to take advantage of this, embrace it, embrace the change, and go out there and create factories that we've never imagined before. We've been helping universities, rectors, deans, chancellors with innovating the curriculum, innovating the universities and programs for the last 15 years. And what I want to share with you is never before has there been a time where the change of pace, the pace of change that is happening today is moving faster than we've never imagined. Disruption is coming, and disruption is coming in every form. We've seen that happen in Airbnb, in hotels, we've seen it in taxis with Uber, and we've seen it with cable, with Netflix. Now, education is about to see the same thing. So I want to first create a little bit of fear in every one of you that the world is changing, and each one of you should be prepared and preparing for what's next and what if. What I want you to think about is, imagine a day where a student could take a class anytime, anywhere that he wants to. The time is now. Imagine a student who is able to finish his 4-year degree in less than 2 years because you have created better pedagogy, better learning systems to be able to learn faster and to learn things in a different way. Well, that time is now. Imagine in a world where if you are trying to recruit students, you don't wait for students to come and apply to your university because of your brand and your prestige, but you actually reach out through social media and you find students everywhere to come and study at your school. That time is now, it's happening. Imagine if you wanted to build a collaboration of professors doing research around the world and using the labs at MIT and the labs in South Africa and the labs in Cape Town. Well, the time is now. You should be thinking about going international and global. Imagine that your students, all of them, are coming from all over the world. And guess what language they'll be speaking in? And that language will be English. Is that something you're preparing for? Well, then our time is now. So as I talk about this thing, I want you to start getting a little worried about the fact that the world is changing. But the good news is the world changes not as fast as we expect, and universities have changed at a slower rate. But if you are one of those guys who can change quickly, then you will be able to transform yourself to be able to be a university of the future. We are also seeing more and more that universities are not producing graduates that are relevant for the market. Companies are complaining. We have done a CEO survey of over 300 CEOs, and what they say repeatedly is the students you're producing are not ready for working on day one. Just a simple statement of that. The second statement they're making is most of the students are graduating have got great technical skills, but they've got very low EQ or soft skills. Where are the soft skills? Where should they be learning them? Should they not be learning them in universities? That's another question for you to think about. Then there comes the disruptions of online and schools like the University of Phoenix and EDX and Coursera, where they're beginning to disrupt everything and saying, hey, look, you should be learning in terms of certificates and just focus on what you want to learn. And don't worry, you can learn from here and get a Harvard diploma. That's going to create a disruption of what does your brand mean and whose brand matters. My biggest guidance to each one of you is this. It's time for you as an institute to ask the question, which rules are we going to follow in the future? Which rules are we going to break in the future? And which rules are we going to make? And when you combine those two things together, I believe you have an opportunity to create one of the most impactful academic institutions in the world. But this is going to be a challenge for each one of you.